We received some very sad West End news this week as the classic horror play The Women in Black announced that it would play its final West End performance in March 2023. It's very rare to see a long-running show close in the West End. This was a heavy hitter that I really believed would continue forever. 33 years in London is impressive, especially when you take into account that 32 and a half of those years have been in the same theatre. So let's discuss this. Why is the show closing? And what is the future of the Fortune Theatre? Let's find out. But if you haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Ellie. I talk about theatre, I do reviews, I do discussions, and I talk about news like this. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting subscribe and liking this video. It really helps me out and helps out the channel. But let's get on with the video. From its start at the Lyric Hammersmith and moving on to several West End theatres after that, Women in Black has been a staple in the West End for over 3 decades. Its staging and effects made it perfect for a deeply effective ghost story with just 2 cast members. The show was extremely popular with schools. This was a top choice to take GCSE students to go see, mainly for comparative essays or reviews, because now the GCSE courses expect you to write a review on a piece of theatre or compare different pieces of theatre. This is reflected in Peter Wilson's statement, a producer from the show, who said this: "The Women in Black's miraculous theatricality has never faltered. Out of a gauze, a wicker ship, and a door, Stephen Malrat and Robin Hereford conjured a complete world into which generations of young people have entered, surrendering to the ultimate magic of theatre." There is a lot to say about the simplicity of this show and how magically it came together to create a true horror experience. However, this tragic closure comes, as a lot of theatres, I fear, are about to experience, due to the economic impact of the past couple of years and the living crisis that we find ourselves in right now in the UK. We are about to see energy bills rise to catastrophic levels. People are struggling to pay for food and gas at the same time. More and more people are being forced into poverty. Obviously, these are the people who get impacted the most. But businesses also take a massive impact. As Peter explains later in his statement, the economic reality of attracting so many young people has caught up with us in a world of rising prices. I feel like this is sadly a trend we're going to see more and more in the upcoming months. More and more shows closing because they just can't afford to stay open. This is a big fear for a lot of shows and a lot of regional theatres. The rising costs of electricity means that it's going to cost more and more to light the stage, pay for the effects and the projection and the different electronic devices that run the show backstage. Not only that, but heating the spaces, heating the foyer, lighting the foyer, all of these bills are stacking up, and this is very hard for especially regional venues that didn't get any funding from the Arts Council in their recent reshuffling of where the funding went. And also long-running West End shows, the more technical West End shows that rely on a lot more technological devices to run. The landscape of theatre is going to be quite bleak for a little bit, and the closure of such an iconic West End play is the first of many, in my opinion. And audiences just simply don't have enough money to go to the theatre as much. And when there is a wide range of different shows that people may only be able to pick one to go see, when you have so many shows and so much choice, something like Women in Black, which has been running for so many years and people may have seen before, may not be the top of the list of priorities. I mean, we have other ghost stories running in the West End right now, like 222. But with closure comes new shows. While it's sad to see the Women in Black close, this does open up a West End stage that hasn't seen a new resident since 1989. What's more, this is a smaller West End space, which is very rare, and we're certainly crying out for some. There's shows like Heathers, Operation Mincemeat, a lot of the things that play at the Almeida, for example, and tours. All of these shows could really do with a space like the Fortune Theatre, and for a very long time we've only really had the ambassadors to fit these shows into the West End. With this space opening up, it gives a lot more opportunities for these smaller shows that have been doing really, really well off West End to finally get a chance in the spotlight where maybe they wouldn't have done if the only spaces available were a little bit bigger. While we wish things could run forever, sadly that's not really how our industry works. But it also means that we get to celebrate new life, new shows, new opportunities for different artists to come in and show us what they can do in a London space, in a West End space. And obviously, this is not the last we're going to see of Women in Black. This show has proved its success. It's going to tour. It's going to go across the UK. And this is great because more and more schools that can't easily get to London can share the story of Women in Black. So obviously, I don't think that we're seeing the last GCSE 20 mark question about Women in Black for a very long time. So let's sit here and celebrate the legacy of Women in Black and look forward to what's to come. So, what do you think? Are you sad that Women in Black is closing in the West End? Are you excited to see it outside the West End, on tour, or whatever its next steps are? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribing. It really helps me out and helps out the channel. On screen now, there are some links to some other videos, but that's it for me today, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!